Then, so injury. Let me. Hey, sorry. Hold on. There you go. Now you can hear me. What's apparently you can hear noise I can't hear. What's that? I think it was game noise. I couldn't hear it though. That's weird. Anyway, let's go back into the game. Right, let's get on with it. Sorry. Wait. The also background light's on. Shambles. Shambles. Very good. Fine. So a company called SimDream have sent me their version of a 2026 Formula 1 car. Now, unsurprisingly, it's an Assetto Corsa mod. This is kind of the go-to game for any kind of modding. Now, interested to see this, how it feels, especially compared to the mod that I made in the F1 game, which was primarily like an engine mod, and kind of how far they've gone with it. Apparently, it's got active aero. I'm interested to see what they've done with the actual power unit itself, and is this going to give us an idea of what it's actually going to be like in real life? Let's find out. Yeah. Nice. There we go. Okay, beautiful. Alright, so there it is. They've got 4 cars so far. I'm going to be driving the Red Bull today. Let's jump into the setup first, see if there's anything we particularly care about in here. Soft compound tyres, I'll keep some fuel in. MGK delivery is on balanced high. So there's a few different settings there. I'll leave it on balanced high for now. MG recovery is on 50%. Oh my word. I love these sort of sims that have all this text in the world. Very small though. I think I'll just leave it all on default for now. MGH mode. Shouldn't be an MGH. Okay, that's interesting. Interesting. Okay, anyway, let's get on with it. Let's get on with it. So, I don't know if it all works in the pits or what, but it should have active aero, so that's the overtake button. You can see it kind of going blue on the in the bottom right there. Let me go in cockpit cam. There's also DRS. We see that moving. Okay, so there's the DRS. Both look front and rear DRS. There you go. So that clearly works. It's quite cool that that's kind of visual where that works. And also, look, it's even got the sort of wing mirror lights, which they've now got in real life in F1. These, I believe, should replicate whatever's on the T-cam, and it's basically to tell you whether the car's safe or not. I believe that's what they're for. When you get moving, maybe they'll stop flashing? Or is it a pit limiter line? Oh, it seems to replicate what's at the back. Interesting. I assume when I come out of the pits, it will stop doing that. Hold on, I'm not gonna weird chase car the whole time. Don't worry. Okay, so stop flashing, and so side one stop flashing as well. Okay, all right, so they've implemented that. That's quite cool. There's the DRS. All right, let's get into an actual normal view. I'm gonna go in cockpit cam, I think, for this. Although, can I get rid of the halo? I think it might be a setting. Hold on. I think it's here halo. Here we go. Right, done. Right, let's try it again. We could definitely try some others. We could try some others. For sure. This just one that got sent to me. SimDream just reached out and said, hey, do you want to try our 2026 car? And I said, yeah, hell yeah. Right. Now, have we got like battery charge level or something? I don't really see anything like that. Let's open DRS for the first time. I don't feel like I make a huge difference right now. I've gone for the Australia circuits. This is, of course, the first track we raced at. Oh, tell you what, a lot of front-end bite, more than I expected. With these 2026 cars. Plenty of grip. Oh my god. Oh, that is not the modern, that's not the modern Australia layout. So let's see. So it's quite hard to spin with some speed on. Oh yeah, it's the old Australia layout. It's quite hard to spin with some speed on. Let's see how hard it is to spin with DRS open. Hold on, let's get a bit of speed on. Here we go. So, like, pretty hard to spin, right? DRS open. Whoa, 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 whoa. Definitely more lively, but I feel like if we only had rear wing DRS, that would be a lot easier to spin, because obviously we're losing some front downforce as well. And obviously I've just damaged the car, so it doesn't look like we've got any visual damage, but it is a bit damaged now. So let's reset and do some normal driving now we've done our testing. A LiDAR scan Madrid ring for Assetto Corsa? Really? That sounds insane. Number inside the blue circle by the battery? Yeah, I assume it is. That's kind of my overlay though. I was hoping for it to be on the steering wheel, but I can't actually see it on the steering wheel, which is quite strange. Now it should be, of course, super powerful. In fact, let's try and use all our battery. Now that battery's deploying too slowly. I wonder if they've just used their 2025 F1 car. Because that battery should deploy. I think it should take about 12 seconds to fully deploy the battery if you're using all of it. You're open for here? Oh, you can. Now, I honestly wish that F1 in real life, I honestly wish that they allowed the DRS, you know, the straight line speed mode as they're calling it. I honestly wish that they did that anywhere, rather than only in the in the zones that they decide. 80, 75. What's the yellow circle? We'll try not to brake too much. It won't go below that. So that's a deployment limit. The battery's way too big in this. Okay, so recharging it. The battery hasn't actually increased in 2026. The battery's the same size as it was in 2025. So the battery decreases. As I said, you can flatten the battery in 12 seconds with full power, but that's not happening here. I feel like this car's got active aero, but I think it's got the 2025 engines. I think it's got the 2025 engines. I don't think this has got a 2026 engine in it yet, which is sad. Okay. Alright, well that's the SimDream car. You guys said there's some other cars we can try. Should we go and give those a go? Because I'm already disappointed with this. Because the engine is the main thing, obviously. The engine is by far the biggest differentiator. This one doesn't seem to be like the one, unfortunately. Maybe they'll improve it with time. And to be honest, it does look great. Let's go back to the pits now and have a little look. It does. They've done a good job visually. Wait. Oh, hang on. Here we go. They've done a really good job visually. Like, this car looks really... I'm such a noob with Assetto Corsa. And the active aero is cool, but currently haven't got the engine stuff, which is sad. Right. What are you guys saying then? Formula Ultra is the best? Okay, let's have a look at that. Formula Ultra 2026. On AssettoWorld.com. Get this. Is this free as well? I don't know what's going on here. What other ones are you guys saying? The one Yana did look good. Which one did Yana do? RSS mod, okay. RSS 2026. I think I have tried RSS. There are other ones. Racing Studios. Oop. On. There we go. Wait, no. What is going on here? Just download. That's a dodgy site that it's downloaded from. Brilliant. Okay, so then we've got the RSS one. £2.50. Does that do the actual engines? Because if it doesn't do the engine, for me, there's no point really. There we go. Right, the Formula Ultra one's downloading now. Someone that's ever driven all four, so I mentioned a new fifth mod coming out soon. Okay, all right. Okay. Well, let's just try this. So we're not messing about too much, downloading stuff. Let's just try the Formula Ultra one first. Go. Because I've got that ready to go now. Where to put it though? What? Have a different, slightly different file structure is what I was expecting. I put that in content maybe. Oh my god, I'm literally such a mod noob. It's an absolute joke. I used to be good at mods many years ago. Sorry, chat. I thought I was going to be able to get that on real quick, but it's not in the format I expected it to be. But also, I find mods so weird. All mod makers assume that everyone knows how to install the mods. None of them, like, very few of them have, like, an actual guide. Well, it looks like ravioli. I know it's ugly, and I need to do something about it. Yeah, where's this Mad Ring? Where's that available? Because that sounds good as well. Do I just put that in cars, maybe? I don't know. I'm just going to whack that in cars and hope for the best. All right. Let's have a look. I've got Content Manager. I'm not that much of a noob that I haven't got Content Manager. Okay. Here we go. Formula Ultra 2026. I've got it now. So, looks like we haven't really got any liveries with Formula Ultra. That's okay. Let's see how it feels, though. Let's do different tracks. I didn't realise Australia was outdated. Should we just try Spain? Barcelona, which is of course where they've been pre-season testing. There we go, loading in now. I think we'll try this RSS one as well. SimDream, that's what I was just running. Yeah, the SimDream one's one I was just running, which didn't really have engine, which is a shame. Yeah, I'll look at Madrid in a bit. Okay. Okay, I've got the RSS one downloaded. We'll do that one afterwards. But let's just have a little go on this one first. So, here we go. Right, again, let's go into settings real quick just to see. So we've got all the different tyre compounds here. I'll go for C3, just keep it in the middle for now. 30 litres of fuel. Okay, here we go. MGK delivery. Push, balance, low, and charge. All right. Keep it on balance. MGK recovery, and engine braking. Okay. Let's just make sure we got the halo off. Keep everything else on default. Okay. Halo off. Why is the halo not off? Seriously, games should default to having the halo off. It's not realistic to have the halo in your face. I don't even know if there's an option for it in this one. Must be, but I can't see it. Anyway, whatever. Alright. Okay, so let's just actually get out of the car a minute. So, DRS. Okay, so this has also got movable wings. Now, this works very differently to the previous mod, interestingly. This has got a more traditional DRS, whereby it's a flap that opens. There is a version of DRS, not on all cars in 2026, where, like you saw in the previous car, the top end flops down. That's not happening here. That's opening much more traditionally. And then you've also got both flaps of the front coming down. Again, not all cars are running that. Some cars just got the top flap of the front wing coming down, and other cars have got both flaps coming down. So that's interesting. It's slightly different there. But anyway, it's okay. DRS clearly works. We got the okay. So the lights on the mirrors either aren't on right now or don't work in this mod. Not too sure. You can see the lights at the back. Anyway, right. Let's just drive the car. Well, it sounds completely different. Oh my word. Yeah, that's a lot more power to hit overtake then. That was crazy. pretty bumpy. I hate the bumps in Assetto Corsa. It's why I don't drive much Assetto Corsa, because the bumps are wildly unrealistic. But other than that, I do like it as a game. Okay, yeah, so it's discharging much quicker this time. That's more like it. Now, as we know, well, as you probably know, charge is going to be a massive issue in 2026. It's going to be all about how much you can recharge that battery, because it takes 12 seconds of full MGUK capturing, as in like hitting the brakes, to fully charge the battery. Actually, yeah, that's correct. 12 seconds. But actually, I think you can deploy for, or recharge for something like 30 seconds a lap or something. 28. I can't remember exactly what it is. 24 seconds. It's a lot more than that. A lot more than 12 seconds. It's going to be very hard to get anywhere near that deployment, which is why they're talking about being on throttle mid-corner. Now, so far, this feels just like an F1 car. To be honest, it doesn't feel too different. And honestly, the real-life drivers have been saying kind of similar, that it just feels like an F1 car. Doesn't feel as different as they were expecting, but they're also talking about it being a challenge. Right, let's deploy everything down this straight. So hit the deploy limit that lap. Let's deploy everything. I want to see how quickly we can potentially harvest. Oh, I haven't got DRS open. 330k there in the straight. So now if I turn the... Where's the deployment mode? There we go, strat. Strat 1, is that no deployment? Yeah, that's no deployment. So how do we recharge it? If I lift slightly? No. Interesting. So at the moment, with this mod at least, you can only recharge on the brakes, which is not going to be the case in real life. They will use fuel to put power through the engine that will then get taken away by the MGUK before it gets to the wheels. That's what they'll do. So you actually can't recharge in a straight line. Well, they won't recharge in a straight line because they want to use all of the combustion engine power in a straight line, all of it. They won't want to use any of the available power from the combustion engine to recharge the battery in a straight, unless maybe at the end of the straight they might do. Let's just run with no deployment for now, just to see. So that was with, yeah, so without the straight line speed mode, with this default setup at Barcelona, we were topping at about 260 kilometers an hour there. Let's check it down the straight, without DRS, without any battery deployment, because these engines are down to about 570 horsepower, I believe it is, the combustion engine alone. So this definitely seems to be closer to what I was expecting the 2026 engine. Okay, so no straight line speed mode, no DRS in this straight, no battery deployment either. And yeah, look, we're topping out about 260k. 265, maybe. No, there you go. I just opened DRS at the end of that straight. You see that immediately start increasing? So about 265 down the straight. And we'll do it again next time, but we'll only open DRS. Again, look how slow the battery recharging. While I'm driving normally, the battery isn't recharging. This is where the teams have got to be so clever, because just recharging on the brakes isn't enough. It's taken multiple laps for me to fully recharge the battery. Remember, the battery isn't all they can harvest. They can harvest so much more than what the battery gives them. Now let's try applying throttle and brake. Yeah, so this is effectively what they'll do. The driver won't have to apply the throttle and brake together, I don't believe. But this is basically what the teams will do. They will have the engine on full throttle, like I've got it here, full throttle, but they'll be making the MGUK, ERSK, work hard to harvest that power instead of delivering it to the rear wheels, which is basically what I'm doing here. So this is what they'll be like mid-corner. But I don't know exactly how far they can go with regard to how much the driver needs to get involved or not, whether that'll be completely automated. But I know in the rules they talk about torque demand, not about you know, throttle position or engine revs or power level. It's all torque demand and torque delivery. But anyway, right. So 265 down the straight last time. All we're going to do this time is open the wings. There you go, they're open now, look. You can see them there. They're open. Let's see what speed we can get, see what sort of speed we can get to. 285 and still counting. So I'd say it's about 20 kilometers an hour or so just in the wings alone, in the straight line speed mode alone, which of course in 2026 they're going to be running every straight. There's not, DRS isn't like it was before. They will be running the wings fully open every time they're allowed to, and they don't need to be within a second of somebody. So there'll be basically still be like DRS zones, but there'll be no limitation of when you can run it. You can be on your own and still run it. So about 20k gain then from the wings alone. Now let's add in the engine power, the battery power next time. Now again, I believe the battery should be able to be deployed in about 12 seconds. So you can see we've got a full charge right now. I'm going to save that, and I'm going to deploy that fully down the straight. So we went from 265k without straight line speed mode and without battery deployment up to 285k. I think we probably could have got to 290k if we had a bit of a longer straight. So just over 20 kilometers an hour gained. And we're going to see now what we can gain with both straight line speed mode for the wings and full battery deployment. So wait till we exit this final corner. There we go. So DRS mode enabled, battery enabled. Let's go. And you can already see I'm already way over 300k. The battery power is crucial. Look at that. 350k and I've actually topped out. The gear ratios are not long enough. And I've got to go back to the garage to see what the real top speed is, because that was a crazy difference. That just shows the amount of power that's available for the engine. We haven't got any longer gearings. By default in this setup, that is as long as the gears get. That is as long as the gears get. Now, in real life, they will be running longer gears than that. I can tell you that for sure, because they will be hitting 350. They can hit 350k, I believe, in the Barcelona straight now in 2025. So there you go. Right, let's just drive normally now then. So you can see we're still on charge mode on the wheel. In fact, let's just come to a stop just to concentrate on it. So charge mode on the wheel right now. Oh, is that going to affect things? I'll go slowly then. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. So there's strap 2, strap 3, strap 4. So strap 4 is the highest power mode, I believe. But I'll put it in just strap 2, which is just quite a light mode. Is it anywhere else? Yeah, here we go. The top, low, balance, and push. So, okay, I'll keep it on balance mode, and I'll just drive this normally now and see what happens. I'm not going to use any override mode. I'm not going to use any battery deployment overtake mode. I will use the wings in the straight, in any straight that I can. Now, of course, because this is a mod, there's no actual predefined straights where you can and cannot deploy the wings. Straight line speed mode, they call it. Corner mode and straight line speed mode is what they're calling the active aero. And I think the battery deployment, they're just calling overtake mode, this sort of override overtake mode. Let's see how that battery gets on. So far it's staying pretty well charged. Monza is going to be very difficult. Monza is going to be very, very difficult for them to recharge. One of the hardest circuits because they're just not on the brakes really ever. Okay, so this is staying quite well charged, but we haven't hit that long straight yet. I'm going to try, can I keep DRS open down through here? Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Not through here, sure, I'm going to shut it through here because this is only just going to be flat. Okay, reopen it. Again, no extra battery deployment, only whenever the car wants to deploy. But with the wings open, 290, just about 300k, but it's only discharging down to about 80% so far. Let's see if that continues to discharge just on balance mode. But obviously you can tell by that straight line speed we are not using full power down the straight. Now I did see, I think it was on autosport.com, I did see someone, you know, a renowned journalist mention that I can't remember exactly what it was now, but it seemed wrong to me. I think basically they are implying that the driver's going to have to manage things with the throttle. I believe in the rules it says the torque, the power output of the engine has to increase, of the overall engine to the wheels, has to increase while the driver is increasing the throttle input. Torque demand, they call it. So while the torque demand's increasing, the engine power has to increase. So you can't have it that, let's say, the last 20% throttle does nothing or something like that, because you could have some kind of traction control. And there's certain limitations on timing, but oh, that flat just. But basically that's it. But it doesn't. I believe that I can't really word this very well. I don't think necessarily that the driver has to get too involved in the corner, but I could be wrong. I couldn't really figure out from the rules whether the driver has to apply throttle in the corners in order to recharge the battery, or if the car can do that itself. The fact they're talking about the engine screaming in the corners, I can't see the driver just nailing the throttle mid-corner, because again, remember, as the driver increases the throttle, the power output has to increase. So if the driver's on 100% throttle through the corners to recharge, but obviously doesn't want power yet, he then has to lift the throttle in order for the engine to reset the mode to then get the power on the exit. It doesn't make sense. I don't know for sure, and I don't know if you guys have got any better info than me. But I assume that the engines will be doing all this themselves. All that matters is the driver asks for power, the engine delivers power. That's all that matters. What the engine is doing in the meantime is sort of irrelevant to the driver, as in could be actually using a load of fuel, revving up really high in order to recharge the battery, but the driver's not asking for any power because he's not getting any power. It's using that increased engine revs to recharge the battery. So it'll all come down to software. Now, I don't know yet, and that's why I'm really excited for pre-season testing, because I genuinely don't know if that's how it's going to work or what. I kind of hope that's the case over the driver having to go full throttle in the corners, because if you look, my battery is slowly discharging. Now, I don't know if the car will maybe settle into a 50% charge level, but it is slowly going down. I'm just driving this car fairly normally, and I've got to say, it feels pretty good. It feels pretty good, but the bumps are better than I've previously experienced in Assetto Corsa. And this is a completely free mod, don't forget, guys. This one is completely free. Which one was this again? This was the one that you guys suggested I should run. There is engine braking, absolutely, yeah. But effectively, the engine braking would be MGUK, which is what they want. Any time that you're slowing down, they want to get as much energy as they possibly can back into the battery. Yeah, this feels good. I'm quite enjoying this. I haven't spun yet. It feels nice to drive. And if this is anything like the real life driver's going to get, I can see why they seem to be saying, yeah, the cars feel good. Oh, just got away with that. So down to 30% on the battery now. So that was a 19.0. Let me turn the battery down by 1 click. We're just in low deployment now. We're not switching off because that would be ridiculous. You'd only ever do that in qualifying. Now I am obviously improving through the corners all the time. But let's see how much we're going to lose in the straights by having a lower deployment. Let's see if this actually does manage to recharge. But again, I'm pretty sure... it's really hard to judge without being an F1 engineer or seeing the cars in real life. But I'm pretty sure that in real life they'll recharge a lot more than this car's recharging. Because again, at the start when we had the battery completely switched off, the deployment completely switched off, it just wasn't recharging very quickly. It would have taken probably 4 or 5 laps or something silly to recharge the battery. That's just not going to be the case. They're going to harvest a lot more than that. Off the top of my head, the battery is 4 megajoules, and they can recharge a total of, I think it's 8 or so megajoules. So I think I drove a better lap, which is why the time isn't that much down. But look, we've still discharged. The battery level was still dropped. This mod has not got the recharge level quite right. I think it's a pretty damn good mod. And I think this is, I guess, when the teams first started looking at the 2026 engines, and I do mean first started looking at them probably about 4 or 5 years ago, when the rules was first being mooted, I think this was the fear. That you just can't recharge enough. You're not on the brakes enough in order to be able to recharge the battery anywhere near like you need to be able to do. So you can say, oh, it's a 50-50, it's actually 55-45 or so, split between combustion and electrical power. But that's just not realistic. You can't recharge that much. F1 cars are so damn good on the brakes. They don't spend very long in the braking zones. You just can't recharge. You just can't recharge full stop. Which is why they then changed things. They added the active aero. They also increased the fuel allowance, so they can burn fuel to recharge. Because yeah, even in this lower deployment mode, we're still not recharging. So again, just to highlight, so we're down to 18% now. I'm going to switch the battery off. Oh no, I'm not. There we go. Okay, so I'm now no longer deploying any charge. Now this is true, I believe. Down this straight here, look, we've got 14%. It's not increasing. I think that'll be the case in real life too, because when you're in the straight, you want to use all of your fuel, all of your combustion fuel, to give you as much power as possible, right? In the straight. Whatever your battery's doing, you want to use all the fuel. Near the end of the straight, you might effectively do a lift and coast, whereby it starts to use some of that power to recharge the battery instead. Now, the only way I can do that with this current mod is to slightly apply the brakes. So effectively, what the engine will do, automatically, I believe, is apply the brakes. It will use a bit of the MGUK. It'll recharge on the rear wheels, come to the power, come out of the engine into the rear axle. The MGUK will then take it off the rear axle, not quite as simple as that, and recharge the battery towards the end of the straight. It's like a lift and coast, but it's more than coasting. It's like a lift and recharge. It's not even a lift. It's just a recharge. I can't describe it. Anyway, I'm going to apply a little bit of brake here. That was obviously too much brake, but did you get the idea? See the battery charge went up there? That's what the engines are going to effectively do. But this mod, weirdly, doesn't ever seem to recharge any other time. Even partial throttle. So in real life, if you're on, like I am now, half throttle, what the engine will actually be doing is your engine will be full throttle. The combustion engine will be producing full power. And if the driver's only asking for 50% power, it will give them 50% power to the wheels, but then take the other 50% and put that into the battery. Do you see how now you can start to recharge a lot faster? But this particular mod, when I'm through the corner here using partial power, it's not working. So let me try something a little bit different. Let me put the brake bias, if I've got it, quite rearward. Let me just see how this feels when I hit the brakes. Hold on. So probably not the rears. Yep. Okay. So very rearward brake bias, and obviously it's a rear-wheel drive car. So what I'm going to do now is I'm not going to do it very well, but I'm effectively going to drive what the engine is going to drive, right? So into the corner, in the straight, you'll deploy like normal. On the brakes alone, you will harvest like this car's harvesting, but in the corner, you'll do that. That was actually a pretty good representation. Here again, I'm keeping the throttle heavily on, and look at the recharge. And that is what the engine will do. I believe that will be completely automatic. I don't think the drivers are going to have to drive like this. I could be wrong. I don't believe that's the case. I'm going to try the RSS mod next, yeah. Let me just do a couple more corners of this. So again, end of the straight, I think the car will deploy, will recharge slightly. And then mid-corner. The car will be full throttle even if the combustion engine will be producing full power even if the driver doesn't want full power. Obviously, I'm going a lot slower now because I'm having to drive quite weird. I might be wrong. Maybe the drivers do have to drive like this. I'm very surprised. You never know. I'm able to recharge much quicker doing this. Now, again, you should be able to deploy the battery in 12 seconds. Let's test that. See how realistic this mod is in that way. It's weird, isn't it? Mid-corner, just hearing a lot of engine power on. Right. 12 seconds. Have we got a timer anywhere? Top right, yeah. That's obviously going to end in a sec, but... about 2 seconds on top of what it's got. I think it will deploy a bit quicker than that. I don't think this mod has got it quite right. I think they've done a good job. I think the car feels nice. I think they've represented the rules loosely. They've got the active aero in. I think they've made a good mod here, but I don't think it's quite right. The engine, I don't think is quite right. Let's see. We're going to try RSS mod now. Let's see if they've done it any better, more realistic, because I don't think this one's quite right. Right, let's figure out how to install this RSS mod. I've got it downloaded. Does that all make sense, what I was saying there? Won't the reliability be an issue under such heavy load even in the corners? Well, yes, that would have been something they'd have worked pretty heavily on. Because you're right, things like temperatures are going to be an issue, aren't they? But yeah, I don't know. It will obviously be something they've tested heavily on the bench. Right. Okay, 2026. Here we go. I've got it. Right, now RSS tends to do things quite complex, and I like them for that, but it does mean it's complex. So while that's installing, they've got a README for the car and for DRS zones. Now, last time I drove an RSS car, the README was very long. They've continued that tradition with this one. Here we go. Here's the README for the sort of book, the guide for this Formula Hybrid 2026. So, yada yada yada. So engine, 3D engine maps, just for while driving, instruction of engine maps, more accurate fuel consumption. Okay, that seems to be brake bias migration. That's what the tyres do, DRS zones. Yeah, I mean, I love it, but let's just drive the car, shall we? Let's just drive the car. All right. So, hopefully it's there. Formula Hybrid 2026. Here we go. Again, it hasn't got official liveries. Sort of an Alpine inspired one. Let's run that one. The more I get to understand these new rules, the worse it sounds. Do you know what? I see a lot of that kind of negativity on like the comment sections of like motorsport.com and autosport.com and stuff, and I just think it's too early to judge. It's still too early to judge. I'm really intrigued. I like that it's quite technical and quite complex. I'm really, really intrigued, but maybe we'll be terrible. Who knows? Who knows? We don't know yet, but I think it's just too early to judge. It's too early to make that judgment call. Simple as that, really. I think it sounds interesting. I think if the engine's doing most of this stuff that I'm talking about itself, and the drivers have got to try and manage that power. It's like, do you remember KERS back in the day? I used to really like KERS, because if you could force a driver to use their KERS in the first half of the lap, it'd be an easy overtake in the second half of the lap. And I used to really enjoy that. Anyway, right, let's take the medium tyres. I'll go down to 30 litres of fuel like it was in the previous car. Engine map, okay. On high. Leave that on balance for now. Oh, current concept and early concept, interesting. Brake migration. Have we got? Ooh. Have we got? Halo. Here we go. There we go. Remove the halo. Halo style. Oh, with wings or without wings. Windscreen. God, this camera's moving so much. It looks very fancy, but it's moving so much. Right, here we go. So, active aero. Yeah, there you go. So very similar to the was it the Formula Ultra last time? Very, very similar. In fact, though, slightly different, because if you look at the rear wing actually tilts on a central axis. Now that's interesting. I don't think that's, I could be wrong. I don't think that's how it works in real life. Same with the front wing, actually. It tilts on a central axis. Doesn't actually fold down, which I don't think is quite right. I don't think that's quite how it works. But anyway, whatever. It moves. All right. Let's jump in the car. So what have we got here? What are we on right now? We'll keep it on balanced MGK delivery. I've also got the recovery, but we'll leave that where it is. All right. Wait, are we on hards? Certainly white. No, it does say mediums in the bottom left. Okay, now this is before they changed the name of it. See this symbol there? It says X. That's X mode. Now they used to call the cornering mode X mode, and there was something else. Maybe it's not to do with that, but that's what they used to call it. Oh, Z. That's right. They used to call it Z mode and X mode, which is obviously a horrendous name. But anyway, right. Let's just get a feel for the car first. Just drive it normally. Now, certainly feels like it's deploying a bit more power than the was it Formula Ultra car was doing the previous one. Oh my god. Okay, and much less stable. You get this constructor's money in my team at the very end of the season. Right at the very end. Honestly, I've got to say, the previous car probably felt too stable. We have got cold tyres right now. Let's just give the car a bit of time to warm up. Okay. And there's the wings. Looks like we have got limited zones where we can use the wings. Oh my god. Okay, this car's definitely got to be a bit more on edge. A lot less downforce, which is probably more realistic, more close to what it actually would be like. Okay, 82% charge. Stop deploying in the straight. You can override that. Yeah, and get up to almost 360k. Uh-oh. Certainly a lot harder to drive. Alright, let's turn the battery off. God. Too busy looking at the battery. Alright. So again, doesn't recharge at a straight, but that's fair. And it seems to recharge a little bit quicker into the corners, which is more realistic. Half throttle. Still not recharging on half throttle. But it is recharging much quicker on the brakes. And again, theoretically, the battery can fully both discharge and recharge in 12 seconds. So, and this is definitely quicker in a straight as well. This is interesting. This is super interesting, this. So let's do the same test we did before with the other car. The tyres are still a bit cold. But let's just keep the active aero mode, the straight line speed mode, switched off. As in, let's keep it in cornering mode in the straight. Previous car got to 265k. I don't think it's entirely unreasonable. Probably 500 odd horsepower. Much closer to full throttle through there. Now the tyres a bit warmer. This is definitely accelerating more. Battery switched off, don't forget. 280? I'm not sure about this. Still reaching almost 300. That would have reached 3... Oh, for God's sake, Alex. It's not the same as the previous car. Now I've damaged it. Almost 300 kilometers an hour. I put to get some softer tyres, actually. I'm not sure about that, Chief. I'm really not sure about that. Yeah, so this recovery mode here, look. I had it on 50%. I don't really know. Should we leave it on 10 and see what happens? It probably just very aggressively recharges it really well. Let's get rid of some of this battery and see what it does. Oh my God, there's so much more power when you apply it. Yes, recharging much quicker. That seems much more like it. But again, it's still not like deploying on like half battery or anything. Maybe I should have done it with the previous car then. But it still wasn't deploying quite right in the previous car. This feels closer harvesting wise, but still not quite right. I think it might be recharging too quickly now in full harvest mode. So interesting. Again, mathematically, it's physically impossible for it to recharge quicker than 12 seconds. That's why I keep quoting that number, because that is mathematically the absolute limit for how quick it can either discharge or recharge the battery from 0 to 100 or 100 to 0. Anyway, right, let's get down this straight once again. Same thing as last time. We got to 300k, except for this time we're actually going to deploy the... Well, I'll stay through there, but this time we're going to open the active aero, go into straight line speed mode. Much smaller difference. Actually, no, about 20k still. Okay. So both mods think there's about a 20k difference in the straight line speed, which honestly to me sounds probably about right. I don't know. DRS tended to be sort of 10 to 15, with the front wing happening now as well. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so that got to about 320k there down that straight. With the wing, with just no battery deployment, just the wings open. Brake early. I know it's because I'm not really paying attention. It was got shot at the engine. That's my main concern. I'm getting used to it. I want tyres. Wakey. Right. So again, same thing as last time. We're gonna full throttle, open the active aero, but this time we're gonna apply deploy as much battery as we can down the straight. And I think we're going to get some silly speeds in this car. 320, 330, 40, 50, 60. We're going to hit the regulator again. 375k. That's too much. 375k at Barcelona? That can't be right, can it? I can see that happening with Slipstream at somewhere like Monza with super skinny wings, active aero enabled, Slipstream as well, full deployment of battery down the entire straight. I can maybe see that happening there. I'm not sure about that. That seems overkill. Anyway, let's just drive the car normally now, guys. We're going to put it up into balance mode. Again, with full harvesting. Let's see if we can just drive this normally and see how it treats us. It's definitely less grip in the corners. Now, what I will say is, I don't think it'll be very often that you'll see a driver deploy his entire battery down one straight, unless it's... To be fair, Barcelona is maybe a candidate for it, because there's not many other straights that you can really overtake in theory. Whoa! Almost went on me. Just about saved it. Okay, I'm not going to deploy any extra. Let the car do what it wants to do. It has the drag reduction isn't that significant, and it has a similar total horsepower. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really make sense that it'll be that much quicker. It will be quicker if you deploy your battery down the entire straight than last year's car, because you've got more drag reduction, but not by that much. Right, let's see how lap times compare. What did we get down to on the previous car? 19.0 was it? The battery's staying charged. Better if we need to up the deployment mode. Just if I kept out of the wall. Oh yeah, Mexico, of course. Yeah, it might be Mexico, because that straight's so damn long, and as you said, it's so high that they got very low air resistance. Maybe it'll be Mexico we'll see the highest. These tyres are still a little bit cold, apparently. Need even softer tyres, which is surprising for Barcelona. Ocon says he reached 355k in Barcelona test. Yeah, that seems doable if you really go for it at Barcelona. That seems much more realistic, which is sort of quite close to what we saw in the previous car, didn't we? Okay. Realistically, at Barcelona, you'll start the first sector, as in at the end of the straight, you'll have very little battery left. You'll just try and recharge as much as you can, because there's a few corners after that you can do quite a lot of recharging. Remember, you can recharge for about 24 seconds a lap, something like that. But you can only put 12 seconds into your battery. Slidey there. I feel like this feels a bit more representative of the straight line, the cornering grip. But the engine just seems wrong. 18.8. Similar lap times, that's interesting. What were the actual lap times for Barcelona testing? Someone look it up, or does anyone remember? Alex. Somehow survived that. Yeah, I did see Ocon say they're harder to follow. If they are genuinely harder to follow, that will suck. I'm hoping that Haas just got something wrong. Anyway, this battery stay way too charged. So let's just try the slightly higher deployment mode. High. Oh my god. $16, okay. So quite a lot faster, but also I'm not expecting to drive as well as a full-on driver. And that also, I haven't done a quali run really. I don't think this is right. This engine, I think this engine actually overall is further away from than the previous engine was. I don't think either are particularly accurate, gotta say. Let's just do another lap with it on high mode. 16.3 by Lewis. Okay, thank you. Oh, this car. And what was the... Isn't that as quick as they went in testing the year before? Obviously, these cars are going to be a little bit slower once they get them fully cranked up. But we also... The shakedown test from last week, they didn't have to use the official fuel, so could well have had legal fuel in. Oh my god, this car. I gotta say, this car's less fun to drive. It may be more realistic, I'm not too sure, but it is less fun to drive. I think it's the bumps. Again, I don't like the bumps in Assetto Corsa. I think the Assetto Corsa feels awful over bumps. And it's just unsettling the car a little bit too much, and it feels a bit too on edge. But maybe this is realistic. Maybe this is more realistic. We don't know. I feel like this sort of feels like maybe a, you know, a Cadillac might feel, or a, you know, an Audi, or a, I don't know, a Haas maybe. This feels like those sort of cars feel, whereas the other mod felt a bit more like a Mercedes might feel. See, tapping that curve and round it goes. It's not really how it works. He did say it's theoretically possible for cars to beat 400k. That was a little bit of sensationalism from him. I think he even admitted afterwards that that was a bit of sensationalism. Right. This is still not really discharging this battery, which is very surprising. Now, there is a quali mode. All right, let's do a... Let's put some soft tyres on. Let's try a quali lap. See what sort of time we get down to with this car, even though it's pretty tricky to drive. I don't know if was Hamilton on the C5 or the C4. I'm gonna go C5 just because I'm struggling to warm them up anyway. Right, so for now I'm gonna put it in no deploy mode. Yeah, I could start playing with setup, but I'm not gonna. The point of this isn't to tweak setup. So 2.8 seconds quicker this year, yeah. I mean, if the cars end up quicker this year, I think everyone will be shocked. Because they are a little bit lighter, which will help, but of course they've got a little bit less drag in a straight, which will help. But they've got, I think, something like 30% less downforce in the corners, and the race laps will be, although the fuel was lighter, at the start of the race they might be similar speed, but at the end of the race they'll be quite a bit slower just because they're not deploying the battery fully. Whereas last year, the combustion engine produced... Was it 800 odd horsepower on its own? So even if you had no deployment, you still get 800 horsepower. Whereas this year, it's only 500 horsepower, 600 horsepower or so from the combustion. So, but they've certainly hit the ground running though. Right, let's do it. Oh god. Okay, I'm just going to set quali mode. I don't know how well optimised it is. It certainly won't be optimised for this specific trap. Let's just see what it does. I think I can deploy way more than that. I'm going to override it. Oh man. I'm going to override it a little bit. I think I can deploy way more than it's deploying. I've got a bit of fuel on board still, as well. I hate this corner in particular. The car goes super light mid-corner. Oh. Probably a little bit too much, potentially. Yeah, going to run out a little bit further onto the line. So I did deploy a little bit too much, but it was also not deploying enough. But obviously it's a generic quali mode. It's not designed to work with this particular track. Whereas in real life I'll have it custom map for each track. 2 seconds up, 16.8. Okay, that's much closer to what they did in real life then. Much closer to real life. That's interesting. I still don't think the harvesting is right though. I think it was too easy to keep this charged. Which again, we weren't deploying harvesting at all in the corners. Which again, you're going to have to do. Yeah. Well, I've got to say I prefer the previous one. What was the previous one again? The was that the that the content manager back. The Formula Ultra 2026 was my favourite for sure. The Formula Hybrid, I don't know. I don't think any of them got the engine quite right. And obviously liveries, none of them had the liveries apart from the first one we tried, which didn't have the engine at all. I'm going to go back to the Formula Ultra real quick, just because I want to try turning up the harvesting a little bit and see if that helps at all. Oh, true, it was cold Barcelona. Yeah, I've got optimal conditions here, so. How do the cars feel? I do feel like that last one, the RSS one, was a little bit close to how they will be in the corners. Again, it was just badly. It's probably just a bad setup, honestly. That's probably all it was. But I'm not going to sit here tweaking the setup. But I feel like in terms of like skatiness and lower downforce, it felt right. Whereas this car about to drive, the Formula Ultra, it's just got too much grip in the corners. But it means it feels nice to drive, but it is just too much. So let's try doing a quali lap in this. I'll take the same fuel, but I will take the same C5 tyres. Leave everything else as is. This is the same. This is the Formula Ultra again, what I drove before. Okay, so have I got a quali mode in this? Got a push mode. We'll put it in push mode. On the quali lap. Oh yeah, I wanted to have the harvesting as well, didn't I? Let me see. Oh, this harvests now. Whoa! Don't suddenly apply 400 horsepower, Alex. Yeah, the first thing it recharges too quickly now. Again, there's a literal limit in the rules to how quickly you can harvest. You can't just harvest more than that. We'll see. Now, I'm going to use the same DRS zones, even though this one's got 3 DRS zones. I'm going to use the same DRS zones as that other car had. Right. So what was it? 16 something? Now, the gearing's too short in this car, so I'm not even going to bother with too much overtake down the straight. A little bit. Gearing's way too short. Down to 40% charge, though. Not going to do any extra deployment then. That's used so much charge. Push might be full, you know, full battery deployment. I don't think it quite is. Oh, hello. So this is more like it on the charge. Although this I don't think this charges as much as it would in real life. I think the actual numbers of this are more correct. This is much more like it. Like I've run out now of not only of deployment limit, but also of Also of the actual battery charge level. I've run out of everything. Maybe the push level is a bit too much. I might put it down to next effort. I'm just going back off this actually. Just have a big recharge for a lap. Right, let's just do another out lap. It'd be easier, quicker. Okay, so don't want push mode. They'll keep it in balance mode this time and then use a little bit of override mode, maybe. Yeah, I'll try the bad ring in a sec. Priority right now is the cars. What is basically your opinion relative to the real thing on just what you believe the cars would be like? Yeah, like a little bit of rules, little bit of like what the drivers and teams have said, little bit of just logic of just like, you know, theories. Obviously, I haven't driven or seen the real life cars. It'd be interesting to see them in the test next week. This one feels a lot nicer to drive. Honestly, if you're considering driving one of these cars for yourself, I would use this one rather than the RSS. The RSS is just difficult to drive. Some people like that. Some people think Sims need to be hard to drive to be realistic. I'm not one of those people. I think this feels nice. This is probably a bit too forgiving, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, you're driving it for fun. You're not driving it to get ready to actually do a real race. So just have some fun. Right. Oh god. Right, I'm going to deploy a little bit down this straight, but not too much. End up deploying more than I expected. A little more there. Now back off. $0.06 down. Alright, I've also got battery now. Oh, that's a little deep. Oh, push power on exit. Not the best lap I've ever done in my life, but we should see how it compares. See, I would have chosen to save that little bit of battery I've got left for this little run to the line. Used a bit more than I'd liked. Lost a bit there. 17.7, so quite a lot slower. Even though it feels nice to drive, quite a lot slower, but it's definitely got less oomph in the straight. The fact that we can't able to get to the same sort of speeds. But maybe the RSS one's more realistic. This one feels a little bit too good in the corners. But yeah, interesting. Interesting. I find this sort of thing super interesting because there's so many different ways to see in the cat, isn't there? But I feel like somewhere between those last two cars is probably somewhat realistic. Again, they're going to recharge more than that. More than either of those cars recharged. I think the RSS one recharged a bit too much maybe on the brakes itself, and I think that Formula Ultra one probably recharged about right on the brakes, maybe not quite enough on the brakes, but then didn't recharge in the corners, so it just wasn't realistic. But yeah, anyway, who knows, guys? Who knows? F1 drivers know right now. Some of the teams know, I'm sure. We're gonna find out a bit more in testing next week. But yeah, Formula Ultra for me. If you're going to try one of these, try the Formula Ultra. That was representative of the rules, and the car felt the best to drive. Got the active aero and stuff. Like it was good fun. RSS is definitely a bit more hardcore. If you like that, you might enjoy that. And the other one was just good for liveries. Really, was it the SimDream one? Yeah, SimDream one was yeah. I mean, it had active aero, but didn't have the engine at all. So it was just good for the liveries, really. So yeah, there you go. That was 3 Assetto Corsa mods, and hopefully it's got us somewhat close to seeing what it's going to be like in real life. But we haven't got long to find out, and the official F1 game hopefully will be very representative of it all. Right, should we try the should we try this Madring mod then? Remember what you said about cars with charge and those without, you getting a ton of time on that back straight. Yeah, I also did brake a little bit on the back straight, but yeah, there is going to be. That's why they keep saying they might get some overtakes in some crazy places, because if someone's run out of battery and you've got a full charge, you've got an extra like 400 horsepower. It's not going to be a competition among any minor straight. Like on the run down to Pouon, let's say at Spa, is it Pouon? I think it's Pouon, the one in the middle sector. If the other guy's got not much charge, you've got loads, you can get past him before the corner. 400 horsepower. When you get the RSS white, it hooks up really well. Yeah, like I said, it's definitely, I can see that it's good. It's just a bit too hardcore, I think, and I don't think they got the engine quite right either. Not quite. I could be wrong. But yeah. Oh, I forgot about the subs. Leechy, thank you for the prime sub. 31 subscribed. We had Flipper for that, drop on a tier 1 sub. Evening all. Hope you both had a fab honeymoon. Oh, thank you very much for the kind comment. Flipper, I did indeed have a good honeymoon. Mistigan, thank you for the tier 3 sub. 35 unsubscribed. Hope you well, Alex. Thank you so much, Mistigan. We had Thorium, gifted 5 subs. I missed 5 gifted. Sorry, Thorium. That was over an hour ago. I'm so bad. I need to turn the... I need to figure out a better streaming solution is what I need to do. But thank you, Thorium. I really do appreciate that. Thank you for the support. Peace.Donny as well. Dropping his prime sub. 34 unsubscribed. Wahoo, 34 months and your tube's still not live. What? YouTube wasn't live? YouTube's been live for an hour. I don't know what he's talking about. Travis, thank you for the prime sub. 19 months subscribed. Hope we're all good. Indeed, we are, Travis. Hope you're good too. Hey, Millie, thank you for the tier 1 sub. 31 subscribed. Wilco as well, dropping a tier 1. 35 months subscribed. So many subs I missed. I'm so sorry, guys, but thank you so much. I do very much appreciate them, even if I do miss them. So, what's this Madring one called then? I know you guys were saying earlier. Someone said they did a laser scanned Madring. Here we go. Benz RAC 30. Benz Rack 30. Have a look. What site is this on? I just try to type in laser scanned Madring. Assetto Corsa. Three different Madring mods for Assetto Corsa. Okay, cool. I haven't actually tried this yet. I don't think I have. I've seen it driven by a few people. Madrid Street Circuit on Assetto Corsa mods.io. Seems to be pretty feature complete to me. I think on his account, I searched the person you said and nothing really came up. I bet the bumps are horrific. It always are on Assetto Corsa. Call it again. Benz Rack 32. Yes, I think it's going to be absolutely crucial, actually. I should have mentioned this in the video. I think it's going to be absolutely crucial that F1 brings the battery graphic. And if they don't, it's a big mess up, because it's been a long time that they've known. You know, about the rule set and stuff and what the limitations. So I really, really do hope that they've got it. I can't find this mod you're talking about. Found a different one. Grab this one when it's done. Nearly done. Go. Extract, 3 gig. I don't know who this one's by. Yeah, done any second now, guys. We'll give this a quick go, and then I'm going to head off. Okay, so I'm going to see with the same car, because I like that car. Good street circuit. Here we go. Who's this one by? Oh, this is by Ben's. Ben's RAC 32. Is that what you were saying before? Yeah, it was. There's no gap. Maybe this is Google didn't come up with it. Anyway, I accidentally found the same one you guys were talking about. So, two different versions: an F1 version and non-F1 version. Not sure what the difference is. I'll go with the F1 version. Let's give it a go. There's a newer version of the shaders patch. I find this so, I don't know why, custom shaders pack I find so complex. Shouldn't be, and it's not, but I just, unless you fully know what you're doing with these Assetto Corsa mods, I find them very confusing. Back that in there. But no, you get it from directly from the custom shaders pack. Anyway, I've just downloaded one, so that one. Hope it works. I think the smaller cars in New Engine will make Monaco somewhat interesting. I mean, they're not much smaller. They're not much lighter. I guess it's going to be recharged quite easy at Monaco. The battery stuff could make it more interesting, maybe. Sure. Anyway, right. So here we go. This is my first time on the Madrid circuit. I've somehow never driven it before. I've not jumped on the hype yet. This is my favourite mod. This is the Formula Ultra 2026 mod. And I've got no idea where we're going, so you're gonna see how quickly I learn the track or not. Okay, there's some brake boards, so I assume there's a corner coming up. Oh my god, okay, yep. Horrible corner. This was supposedly laser scanned, but I don't know how it could be. Not finished yet. Oh god. Alex, idiot! Okay, let's try to not do that repeatedly. I just was zoned out a bit there. Let's try it again. They've got the crowd accurate. The rest of the point on way too high. Not balanced, might be alright. Okay, so this is like a little chicane. I'm going to call that a Mickey Mouse chicane. There's another corner up here. I mean, the wall seriously is going to be like this. This feels very like almost Mario Kart style, like or even mod style. The walls are all just right against the track. Doesn't feel right at all. Well, that's very quick wall banking. Okay, that was a nice corner. That's the first. Well, the banking one was interesting. That last corner was okay, though. So far, no crashes. Behind the crash. Okay, that's quite a quick chicane then. Oh, that's not flat. Might be with a better line. Oh my god, that's tight. That's also extremely tight. Okay, then we're back to the final corner. Well, there's a lap of the Madrid. Let's see how much I remember of it then. I've done it once now. Grand total of one time. Wait. Okay. Never done that corner before. The pit exit must be on the right here somewhere. There it is. Okay, now I've done a lap of the Madrid. What do I brake? 100 meter board. Look at the curb. Horrible, horrible curbs in Assetto Corsa. Tight left, is it? No, it's tight right. It was tight. And the banking coming up next, I think. Surely isn't going to be flat, is it? Oh, it's not the banking yet. It's not the banking yet. Away with that. Okay. Another little chicane, then the banking. Interesting how they use battery around this banking. I like the camera movements of this car. Is this a high-speed section? It is, very much so. High-speed chicane? No, not yet. Not yet. Not yet. No! Got proper damage as well. God's sake. Trying to learn on the fly. Yeah, this is Madrid, yeah. Right, let's try again. I've got it this time. I've got it all down now. I've got it memorized easy. These curves will be almost certainly completely different in the real life version. They're quite generic curves, aren't they? And that's what I tend to find with these early mods. They're just so generic. Like the actual track will be very different to this. Okay, pretty high speed that. Again, I can't see it being like that in real life. The barriers won't be this close. I think this is the layout. I reckon is right. I think the rest is quite inaccurate. Craps last, I think it was. Almost did it again. And this is the super high speed chicane. Here we go. This is the bit I was looking for before. Oh, this corner though. Getting the super tight left. Oh no, I thought that was medium speed. I don't know we were supposed to be facing that way. Okay, that was the end of the lap though. We're getting there. One crash at a time. This is as close as we'll get. Yeah, but it's not safe enough. I don't believe it. I know you're saying it uses official blueprints, and maybe it does. Maybe they were early blueprints. I don't believe. There's some really high-speed chicanes that send you straight into a wall. There'll be a bit of runoff there or something, surely. This corner sucks. This corner's kind of alright. Uphill braking. To a tight right, that's kind of okay. A tricky little traction zone with the wall coming out. Yeah, that could be okay. Like this, like look how close that wall is. You have a huge crash there. Not sure I believe that. This bit, I think it's probably about right. I quite like this corner, a sort of medium speed 90-degree corner. The section's fine, the flat out bit. Walls are kind of close-ish, but they might be okay here. I think that corner's okay. Tricky braking zone. High speed chicane. This is probably accurate. Did it again? Same thing as last. Killed the engine. That's not how engines work. The engine's not in the front. Fake. Do you know any words in Italian? Not really, no. I do want to learn Italian, though. I need to stop being lazy and actually learn it. But Jeddah's safe? Yeah, I get you, but... There's certain elements of Jeddah that is that they're a bit wild, but... Look at the first sector, right? The real high-speed section. Look at the size of the runoff areas there. This bit will be like that, because look at a huge runoff there. Yeah, you got to the right. Well, that'll be correct. This bit will probably be correct. So again, look straight ahead of you. Huge runoff area. Something goes wrong. This bit here, though, it kind of encourages you to send it right into that wall at quite a high speed. I don't believe that bit's right. And the rest might be. I'm going to open the wing. Have I got the wing open? I'm too scared. Let's briefly shut it out, pure fear. This bit will be right. Curbs will be different. That apex curve will be different. This corner's tight, you think it's going to be? Yeah, that's what I keep crashing on. Survived it that time. Super tight corner. Okay, we survived the lap. Well, almost. 2 corners. I don't like this version of it, and I don't get me wrong, I don't think it's going to be a banger track. I don't hate it overall. These are the sort of sections I don't like. Just little chicanes that are just there just to slow cars down. They're never fun. Right, come on. Banking's wrong? Okay. Oh, God. My fault. I'm going to back off just because I don't want that to be on best lap. Do you know anything about the tyres 2026? Not really. They have been changed. Yeah, we're getting a bit of confidence now. Not to say I'm not about to crash, but... Wings are open. I'd love it if that could be the case in real life. Just got a bit too much speed there. That's high speed than that. Pinched on exit. Oh. Oh. Super tight left. Slower than you think it is. Oh, I'm calling it and I'm still not getting it right. Oh god. That's okay actually. How's what? The car mod's pretty good. The track walk supposedly is super realistic, but I'm still not sure I believe it. Oh, it's wrong side, Alex. I keep doing that. Battery. Oh, it doesn't help the Assetto Corsa so bad over the bumps. Oh, that's power. With some beans on. Oh, it's not the banking yet. Got a bit excited. Got a bit excited. Okay, we've got to back off just to make sure it don't set. Unbelievable lap. I had everything on there. The wings open, the battery fully deploying. I really, really wish the FIA would give the drivers more free use of the active aero. I used to love it when DRS first came in. It'd be like, is anyone going to brave having DRS open through this corner? I used to love that. It's just so safe now. I'm thinking for the drivers. Whoa. Okay, I think I've got it now. Just about. Yeah, Formula Ultra 2026 is what it is, yeah. Cars don't skitter like they do in this Assetto Corsa in real life. Now, this is actually a pretty high-speed section, this. Just with a boring chicane at the end of it. Chicane first. A bit more speed. A bit late on the brakes. A bit too far left. Slow, keep going too slow in that one. Scary than it is. Well, oh god. It's at the wall, the final corner. That's a fair representation of where I'm at right now on my practice level. Do one more. Oh, god damn. Hate the curbs. Hate bumps. That's of course that. No more battery. Oh, don't show you there. Steering wheel. Whoa! Is he looking for a delta? Let's try and carry the right speed for this chicane this time. Quite quickly through the first bit. That's better. A bit slow through the second bit, but Losing a lot of time in the straights. Not enough power. I don't know. It's not disastrously bad, but it's not a good track, is it? Much quicker than I always think it is. Yeah, it's always flat, that. This isn't, though. One's flat, the other isn't. That last corner is interesting. I always look, oh god, what are we doing? I always look for corners that are like unique. Like this sort of corner is fine, but it's not unique. Do you know what I mean? Like I always look for like what's different about this track. I think the only thing I hate about this track is these chicanes. This chicane and the other one doesn't help the terrible physics in Assetto Corsa for the bumps, but this chicane and the next chicane, both terrible. Other than that, it's alright. I don't know. I think it will change a little bit compared to what we've got here. And this chicane. But equally, you can't have flat out sections. You need something there, but let's be for that time. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I feel like none of it blows me out. This is kind of interesting because of the interesting braking zone. That's sort of on the limit, but that means it'll be super hard to follow through that last one. This is interesting because it's so tight, followed by that little like kink. Don't mind that. Yeah, just quite generic, I think. Just quite generic. Most of it. None of it's blowing me away. A couple of bits I don't like the chicanes, but it's fine. It's fine. It's not. I don't hate it. I don't like it. I just think, given a blank canvas, I just think it only makes sense to do a street circuit around really special streets, right? New York street circuit, hell yeah. Monaco street circuit, hell yeah. Do you know what I mean? Singapore was special when it came in because it was a night race. It was the first and only night race at the time. And obviously street circuits like to be super close to the city rather than out where a track can be. But if you're bringing a new track to the calendar, unless it's something really special, I'm sorry, a Madrid industrial estate does not need to be a street circuit. Just build a proper track. Build a proper track. F1's got so much money. And unless you're going to somewhere truly special, build a proper track. Come on. Surely. Look at Miami. Look at the amount of space they've got in Miami and they put it in a car park. It sucks, man. Where will we allow street circuits? New York, maybe London. Monaco. I like Monaco. I know it's hated, but it's special. It's unique. Like Paris, driving under the Eiffel Tower, maybe, I guess. That's it. 3 circuits. Was that 4? New York, London, Monaco, Paris. You're allowed 4 street circuits in the world. Yeah, I actually quite like Valencia, to be fair, because Valencia was a little bit different. Valencia didn't feel like a classic street circuit. But anyway, you're allowed 4 street circuits in the world. A 5th that's going to pay you a lot of money because they want someone to come to their city, right? But you're not allowed to be on the calendar for more than 2 years, right? You're allowed 5 street circuits on the calendar. This doesn't need to exist. Singapore, I think, was fun. Doesn't need to exist anymore. Miami being in the car park, just boring. I'm not even a street circuit hater. I quite like street circuits, but I'm a bit bored of the new ones coming to the circuit. They're just terrible tracks, and they've got to have those weird chicanes because there's a tunnel we've got to go through. There's a road we've got to go through. We can't go through it at 300 kilometers an hour because someone will die if a tire blows up. So I know, let's put in a chicane to slow the cars down. No, that sucks, man. Put in corners that are going to be fun and good, not corners that are only there to slow the cars down. They're racing cars. Don't try and slow them down. Don't put them in places where they need to be slowed down. I don't know. Rant over. There you go. Madrid is fine. I don't hate it, but it's super generic, man. I want to be excited about a new track. I want to see a new track now and go, oh, yeah, whoa, look at this track. Awesome new track. Wicked new track. Love it. Not happening. Not happening. Do you know what? It's not great. But the worst one that they nearly introduced was, where was it? Was it Thailand or somewhere? I can't remember where it was now. It had the you went around a roundabout. It absolutely sucked, man. We got it in the F1 game one year. And I don't think they ever raced on it in real life. Vietnam, Hanoi. That one was bad. That one was bad. But again, it's similar sort of format, isn't it? It's similar like, street circuit. We're going to bring it to a new place. Oh, but it's going to be a generic street circuit. Hanoi was bad. I'm glad we never raced that in real life. But because in the game it was really bad. But anyway, right. Rant over. That's Madrid. It's fine. I'm going to cry. I'm going to look up how long it's on the calendar for. Then I'm going to cry and go to bed early. Madrid calendar F1 announcement. I don't know. When is it on the calendar till? Oh, I'm going to use AI. When is Madrid on the F1 calendar until? Years. Why? No. 10 years. Now, honestly, I'll be surprised if it sees out the 10-year contract, but 10 years. All probably because Madrid wanted some attention from Barcelona. Oh my god! Right, I'm gonna assume the sleeping position in my rig, and I'm gonna see you all another time because I'm very upset. 10 years of that. I'm gonna just dissolve into the floor. Goodbye.